All right, so the way I analyzed this was to determine whether this was an investment where there's an element of risk or whether it was a loan. So I thought during the opening, I referred the defendants to the proposed business plan as evidence of what their intent was in joining with each other. And there was a proposed schedule to return capital to original amounts, and this was prepared by the defendants. And it clearly indicates that they thought of this as a loan. They could have, at this point, when they talk about the worst case scenario, say, and if the business fails, then we're both out because my part of the business is to do the tattoo work. Your part of the business is to give us the money to get this off the ground.
And also, there wasn't any mention of a profit. Usually in a business investment, they
or
decide,
how they were going to split profit.
how they're going to split
they didn't
profit.
Go that far.
And I didn't see that in there
so
either.
If we look at each of these expenditures, I think there's enough circumstantial evidence here to indicate that they were loans. And even the defense, a part of the defense, is an offset to the loan. Right. They wouldn't have had to offset it if it was simply an investment.
So what's the offset?
This is the way I would say that they're not entitled to the value of the car.
They're not liable for the old transmission on your 16-year-old car.
Normal wear and tear. The car was 16 years old. The car's out of the picture.
$1,400, that was a loan enabling them to run the business better.
And according to the defendants, they were going to give the money back anyway.
They get that back. The $1,000 business supplies, they get that back. The $3,000 engagement ring, they get that back.
But I think that was really an exchange. I think that was a quid pro quo for the money loaned. I'm willing to give the plaintiffs $2,400 back. Call it a day. The $3,000
I think this whole deal is so murky and it really wasn't a meeting of the minds. I can live with that as a compromise.
Okay.
We're recognizing $2,600 as the value of his work because they're suing for $5,000.
I'll join. I think that's right.
All right, we've reached a verdict. It's unanimous. We believe that you had an agreement, that you were going to supply the tattoo expertise and you were going to supply the money in order to effectuate the business. Now you want the money that you advanced returned to you. We looked first at your $2,000 request for the value of your car. We cannot find that the defendants are legally liable for the damage, so you're not getting that $2,000 back. With respect to the $1,400 that you advanced for her learning how to body pierce, that was in furtherance of the business. It was a loan. We don't find that there was sufficient offset by the work that you did with respect to that. With respect to the $1,000 that you advanced in Hawaii for supplies for the business, again, we don't find that your alleged offset was sufficient to offset that. With respect to the $3,000 personal loan for your engagement ring, we find that your work sufficiently encompassed the value of that $3,000 in the work that you did, so the plaintiffs will not recover that $3,000. So the verdict comes down to this. It comes down in your favor for $2,400. That's the verdict of the court.